Welcome everybody to the News Graphic, Scott County Lady Cardinals Coaches Show. It's a big edition. We had three important games, a couple of milestones to talk about here in the past week. Let's get right to it. Friday night, this past Friday night, big revenge spot for the Lady Cards as they took on DuPont Manual out of Louisville. You may recall last year DuPont Manual knocked SC out of the Sweet 16 in the first round after Scott County had won during the regular season. Well, again, make it two regular season wins in a row for the Lady Cards as they paid back some serious revenge in a convincing about a 20-point victory on Friday night. Nyla Blackford, bound for Kent State, was the big star for Manual, is the big star for Manual. Kennedy Tompkins and Malaya Williams really took it to her, made her work for all 22 of her points. She just about hit her season average, but they held her in check. They out-rebounded Manual, did Scott County with the help of those two big interior players. And it was a good night for Malia Owens, who had, I believe, 29 points that night, regular season high anyway. And she's been tearing it up. We'll get to her again in a moment. But a big win for Lady Cards as they take out Manual in a late Friday afternoon game. And then they had to turn around, get on a bus early Saturday morning and go down to Lincoln County, where they played in the Patriot Classic, a neutral court game, against Southwestern out of Pulaski County, just down the road from Route 27. So Southwestern had a big crowd. That big crowd got into it early as Southwestern went on a 10-0 run, took a 12-8 lead. Steve Helton had to call timeout and say, what are we doing? We got to play some defense. We got to get our transition game going. Well, as usual, SC did. Took the lead at the end of the first quarter, just kind of gradually stretched it out as the game went on. Big day for Malaya Williams as 15 points and 18 rebounds. She had a couple of Division I scouts there. They certainly were not disappointed. And Malia Owens with 25 more points as SC pulls off the convincing, comfortable victory on the road on a neutral site to stay undefeated, embellish their #1 ranking in the state in some corners. Now they're not upset, but they're kind of a little irked, I think, that there's a couple other teams that are getting that respect that have lost games, even though they have the resume, does Scott County, of beating a lot of out-of-state opponents, going on the road on a Saturday situation like that and doing big things against a ranked team. Probably should put them in that conversation. Well, they had another chance Tuesday night to kind of build that resume, as it were. They played Dunbar out of the 11th region, a team that was they knocked out in the semifinals last year. Paul Lawrence Dunbar did Scott County on its way to that title, but a little different look from them this year. The Bulldogs a lot younger, and SC took it to them right away from the start of the game. The big news that night, Malia Owens, 2,000 career points. She needed 15. She got 14 in the first half. Got it on a three-pointer fittingly, I think, early in the third period. And just a big night for her. You look at the history of Scott County girls basketball, Rebecca Gray Dyer, almost 3,000 points, I think 2,900, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yukari Figs, 2,700 plus. Of course, the great career going on to Purdue, winning a national title, going on to the WNBA, winning a world title there. She's only the third player, is Malia Owens, to eclipse that barrier at Scott County. That came on the heels of Juliet Smith hitting 1,000 points last week, but 2,000 is just a really big deal. Not many players can say that. Even with a 30-game season, even with playing on varsity in middle school, as some players do and as Malia did, it's a hard number to hit. And after returning to Scott County her sophomore year, she has been a mainstay, averaging 17, 18 points during that time, upping it to 20 this year, and hitting that milestone and hitting it running with half the season still remaining here. Coach Helton said to me the other night, man, I want this season to go on as long as it can. And for Scott County at this point, 16-0, that means potentially 22 more games, as the regular season will be 29, and then they'll move on into tournament play. But a lot has to happen before then. Coach Helton excited about a week off right now to practice, get that defense shored up. You know, Scott County averaging 85 points a game, roughly leading the state. That's all well and good, but he's still worried that there's some nights where they might not be able to outscore people, and you got to get that defense going. So he's got a week to work on that. Bryan Station comes in on Tuesday night. That's another district game. Shouldn't be too challenging for the Lady Cards. And then, bang, 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 Wednesday, they'll play Simon Kenton in the Toyota Classic. Friday, they'll play Lincoln County in the Toyota Classic. Saturday night, main event at the Classic against GRC, and all three of those teams ranked top 15, top 20, depending on where you look. They've had some ups and downs that the Lady Cardinals haven't had, but all are going to be state tournament-worthy opponents, and we'll find out a lot about where SC stands in that mix after this coming week. We had a lot of post-game activity with Coach Helton, with Malia Owens, both talking about her milestone, talking about some other things involving this team after those 2 wins over Manual and Southwestern. Also talked to Malia Williams as well. Let's see and let's hear what they had to say, and we'll see you next week. Scott County took the revenge factor seriously against DuPont Manual.
We were ready for this game. We were like, we're not, even though they lost one of their players, we were like, they're still basically the same. They still have Nyla, and we knew we had to come in there, and we had to get out early, and we had to show them, like, you're not going to get the same thing on us that you got at state.
The Lady Cards closely defended Manual's top player, Nyla Blackford.
She had to work hard. We put Kennedy on her, matching up with her the whole time just to kind of frustrate her and make her work hard. We weren't just going to leave her open because then she'll live off that. So I think putting Kennedy on her, Kennedy played really well against her and just kind of frustrated her and made her work for what she got. I think because we wanted this team so bad, we played better than we did against the team.
Malaya Williams' continued growth has made the Lady Cards an even stronger team.
It seems like she's moving better without the ball. When the ball's in the air, she's moving. To be a good rebounder, you've got to be mobile, hostile, and she's doing that.
Southwestern's early lead forced Scott County to rally on Saturday.
Huge win for us on the road because this was a very good team. The score does
it was kind of a hostile environment. They had more fans.
When it was 10-8, they were ready to score the goal. When they took the lead 10-8, we had to call timeout. I didn't want to call timeout. I hate allowing the crowd to get into it, but in that situation, we just need to settle. And we made some big plays, and we only got off 62 shots, but
I think the shot selection was good for the most part.
at times we got movement. Based off offensive rebounds, I know at one time we at least, at least 10 passes, and usually that's a turnover after 3 for us. But tonight,
You finished strong tonight.
yes.
Williams is nearly averaging a double-double for Scott County this season.